Hi, I'm Edgar Hernandez.
And I'm Nuri Robles. And this is
Bar Talking
Bar, your access to the heartbeat of New York City's bar and hospitality scene.
Hosted straight from the city that never sleeps, we sit down with bartenders, brands and ambassadors, hospitality pros, and cocktail lovers.
Whether it's the art of bartending, the hustle behind hospitality, or the wildest bar tales, expect raw conversations and industry secrets.
Listen to the people who pour your favorite cocktails and keep the nightlife alive.
If you love bars, spirits, and the stories that bring them to life, follow us, share, and subscribe to keep the conversations flowing.
The podcast that you didn't know you need.
New episodes weekly.
Welcome back. I'm your friend Edgar Hernandez.
And I'm Nuri Robles, and this is
Bar Talking Bar.
Yes, welcome back. And tonight we have an amazing guest, someone that we're very, very excited to introduce to you guys. Maybe many people already know him.
So I just want to start by saying we actually love what you're doing, and why you're doing it. But without further ado, please meet Alan Ruesga. Yay! Hold on. So for all of those who are now watching us on YouTube or listening to the podcast on any platforms, Alan Ruesga, it's an icon in the industry.
Yes.
He worked his way up to this brand that you just recently started working with. But why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, since you took the time to be here with us tonight?
No, thank you. First of all, I feel very fortunate to be here. Thank you so much for the invitation. You guys doing an amazing job. When I got the invitation, I seriously got very excited. And then finally, it's happening. So, yeah.
Finally. Hasta que se me hizo bonito.
Bien. Well, my name is Alan Ruesga Pelayo. I am from Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico. Yes, where is all the mariachi, there is all the tequila, and gastronomy, you have the tortas ahogadas, the birria, and I think it's one of my favorites, especially el pozole verde. Yeah.
Ya me dio más hambre. So hungry. So Alan, thank you so much for being here. But the most important thing, I'm having right here in front of me something that is very important for you and for many people in the industry. Tell us a little bit about.
Claro. Well, I'm very fortunate to represent Teremana as the global brand ambassador.
Wow, global. You're cool, eh?
Yes, aquí. Oh, yeah, should we do a little chiquito?
Why not? Yes. I was gonna say maybe pouring and.
Oh, do you hear that?
We can start sipping. Yeah, talking about
first ladies.
Lo voy pasando
okay,
para
perfect. Yes. So let me tell you just a little bit about Teremana before we sip it. So it kind of like makes sense while we're talking about it. So this tequila is coming all the way from the highlands of Jalisco. Small town it calls Jesus Maria.
Yes.
And this is, I feel very proud to represent Teremana because it's coming all the way from this small town where it's a multi-generational family who are the agave producers and they are the agave maker. And this is a tequila that it tastes like tequila. Seriously, I'm such in love of this Teremana. And I will tell you probably in a little bit about it, but about the small batch. Everything is like a low and slow, and it's a old school brick oven. And then also the way that we ferment it and distill it also in handmade copper pot stills. And then after that, we have this deliciousness.
Wow.
So I like to try to do a toast.
Yes.
So, and then
I'm going to get ready for this because I really like this part.
So, like the traditional toast in Mexico, arriba, abajo, al centro, para adentro, no? So this is a version because at Teremana, it means the spirit of the earth. And mana is the good energy that we have in all of us. It's about doing the things the right way. And it's about this, bringing people together. Yeah. So are you guys ready for the toast?
Yes.
So we say to the spirit,
to the
earth,
to the
to the community,
to mana.
Salud, eh?
Salud.
It sounds amazing.
Ay.
Uy,
It's really good.
está bien suavecito.
It's like, for me, every time that I smell it and I taste it, seriously, it transports me to the fábrica, no? The factory or the distillery of Teremana, smelling the cooked agaves coming from these brick ovens. And then when I taste it, for me, it is so important, not only our fermentation, but then also the distillation, because we do 100% copper. And both of you working in the hospitality industry, and also you're coming from the fine dining, correct? Mm-hmm. So usually the chefs in the fine dining, they use or stainless steel pots or they use copper pots. Do you know why?
Because it evens the heat.
The
right?
temperature.
The
You
temperature.
can control better the temperature.
Yeah.
So that's the reason that when you're in the distillation, when you trying to create all the vapors and transform it into like a high proof alcohol, when you use stainless steel, you get a better opportunity to control these temperatures. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, you remove some of the sulfurs. So you get like this very well balanced tequila, delicious to taste, citrus notes, and for me, it's a tequila that really inviting you to enjoy it. A lot of sippings. I tell people that I am a romantic Mexican every time I drink tequila. Do you know why?
Why? Why are you romantic? I mean, I can't say, cannot say you're not right, but what is it that makes it romantic?
Because I like to drink my tequila a besitos.
Oh, kiss it.
Little kisses.
Kiss it, yes.
So romantic.
You know, that's what I tell sometimes, like especially guests at the
little
restaurant. It's like you always have, first you have to acclimate your palate with a little kiss.
Yes.
You know, kiss it.
Yes.
But I get what you're saying, that, and that's a really good point.
But honestly, it's super. I mean, for me, and everybody knows, or whoever knows me, I don't drink tequila as other people. I more like a whiskey or rum person.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes tequilas are very harsh.
Yes.
You know, and this is very, very like subtle. I taste like herb. Like I'm drinking something with herbs. It's like very botanical.
Yes. What about you?
I see it. I have some tropical notes, more like a dry pineapple, like not a ripe pineapple yet, but pineapple notes, like some mango.
Yes.
But it reminds me because sometimes these towns are surrounded by different kinds of soil, and the soil has a lot to do with the earthiness, with the flavor. There might not be any tropical notes in there, but sometimes there's green mangoes, and green mango is what really comes to mind first. Right?
Yes. I got also those tropical notes, and I love that you mentioned that you get the first fruit that you mentioned, it was pineapple. Mm-hmm. And actually we have how we call it, a strategy cocktail, our hero cocktail, and it's a pineapple's margarita. We call it the people's margarita.
Oh.
Why? Because pineapple is the global symbol of hospitality.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what we do, right? We work in the hospitality industry, and I'm very fortunate that for me, before I started as a brand ambassador, that's how I kind of got introduced to my career, because I started in the hospitality industry. Yes.
Yeah, and that brings me actually to my question: How did you start, and when did you start? Because we know you coming from Jalisco, from the land of mariachi, from the land of tequila, from the land of the tortas ahogadas.
Yes.
But when you moved to New York, or when did you move to New York, just to start from there?
Can I?
Yes, of course. Yes.
I want to say something, and I'm sorry, but it also comes Las Chivas.
Las Chivas Rayadas del Guadalajara. Cheers for that.
Say por del Cruz Azul.
I'm a Chivas fan since I was a kid, because born and raised in Guadalajara, I've been very fortunate. I'm the youngest of 3 brothers and 2 sisters, and I'm very fortunate the way that I grew up. My parents, they give me everything I needed, and they give me the values that I still bring with me wherever I go. And one of my uncles, his name is Tío Nacho, if you hear about it, it's such a kudos to you, because you took me for first time to a soccer team, and it was Chivas versus Pumas, and we beat them up.
I would love to see that.
I'm Pumas because
Again.
I went
really?
because I went to NAM, so it's my alma mater. But yeah, definitely we suffer.
Yes.
Yeah.
So for me, I will tell you a little story that happened to me going to US. For me, many reasons come to United States, or they immigrate from different countries, and the reason is because sometimes it's financial issues in their countries, sometimes it's because it's some issues in their countries about violence, about sometimes it's about people they get the need to leave because they need better jobs. Sometimes it's not just because school, sometimes because it's family, right?
Yeah.
For me, my reasons to leave Guadalajara, it was more as an adventure, you know?
Oh.
Yes. I was studying administration and international business, and I feel like I needed something different in my life. And I moved in 2001, 2002 to Washington, D.C.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and there is because my sister used to work for the Mexican embassy, and she was very nice about it because she welcomed me into her home, and I was like, well, I'm here, well, I want to make some dollars to bring it back to Mexico. So actually my first job ever, I was cutting grass, my second job, and it was the hardest job I ever did in my life. But without making the story too long, I ended working in the hospitality industry. My first job ever, it was thanks to a Puerto Rican. His name is Manuel Iguina. So if you hear it, Manuelito, se te quiere mucho. And he knew exactly that I didn't have no experience. I didn't speak the English. And when I was in the interview, it was in Spanish. And he's like, so are you been working in the hospitality industry? And I was, sí, of course. Yes,
Claro.
yes. Do you know do this? Oh, yes, in Guadalajara all the time.
Yeah.
But he saw something on me. And because that, I feel very grateful because it was not from him, I would not be here. Seriously.
Yeah.
And he told me, well, come tomorrow all black. So I went and I told my sister, I got a job.
And what was your position?
Dishwasher.
Oh, you were a DJ too. Oh, what
A DJ, I love it.
Wait, we say it's DJs because you spin round, like a record round.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was not the best dishwasher, so and it was just too much for me, and I was not as fast. And then I went to the prep area, and I was not the best with a knife. So and then I saw the when you're working in the kitchen, I noticed a couple things. Number one, it's the culture in the kitchen. You hear the which is la cumbia, la salsa, el mariachi, rancheras. So I felt home when being all away from home, no?
Yeah.
So for me, that was really a connection. Everybody speaking Spanish. I was speaking Spanish. Even I needed to practice English, but hey, I speak it right now.
Yes.
And then every time that at the kitchen they have the how you call it, the doors that they move
It's like those saloon doors, right? They you put coming in. I forgot the name of it. Yeah,
Yes.
Like wings.
Yes. Like, like these stainless steel doors, and they have like a glass circle where you can see through the door.
Yeah. It's like the old school diner doors.
Old school diner, yes. And every time that they open the doors, I can hear the noise from the dining room. And very loud. And I was just kind of like peeking into...
What is that?
What is that? It feels like it's another world. Even... I've been in the restaurant so many times, but being from back in the house, I felt somehow intimidated to see what's happening. But I took the courage, and then I asked my boss, Manuel Wina, it's like, hey, I would love to be a runner. He's like, well, Alan, how's your English? Oh, I haven't practiced, no?
Very well.
Yes, very well.
Very well, Mondongo.
Mondongo?
Yes. Well, and then I ended working as a runner, assistant server, and then it was the live about the bars. And I became very interested. I see the bartenders shaking and having these really cool conversations and creating cocktails. I was like, oh, this is super cool, no? And then I became a bar back. Then I became a bartender.
Wow.
Then I became a host. And then I became assistant manager. And then at some point, I ended up working at one of the coolest places in Washington, D.C. It used to call Mate. It was Sushi Lounge. It was so popular that outside of the bar, it was Ferrari, Lamborghinis. I met presidents. I met so many celebrities.
Wow.
And one time, my parents came to visit me. And my mom told me something the next day. She was like, Alan, we are so proud of you. We are so proud of you, but one thing I really don't understand. He's like, what? He's like, you say you are the manager, right? And I was like, yeah, I was the manager. So how come you were picking up plates and cups and you were busting tables? Like, it's like, I just don't understand. It's like, oh, man.
Let me tell you something.
And then I told her, you know, ma'am, because you need to show by example. And all these values that I've been getting into showing this empathy and showing by example is coming from both of you.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was telling to my mom, my dad. So my mom, when I told her, obviously she started bawling, crying. But it's so true. It's like my parents back home, they love doing fiestas. Oh. You know, it's something that almost every weekend. But because we have a big family, so my mom was very smart and she was delegating responsibilities.
Oh.
Yes. So
but then she didn't have to do it all. She
was the manager.
She was the manager, yes. So someone was in charge of the food, someone in charge of the drinks, someone in charge was like keeping clean everything. And I was in charge of keeping the coats and make sure that the bathrooms were clean. And you're okay.
You were the coat check.
Yeah, I was the coat checking. Yes. And fast forward, I decided to move to New York City. And I went back to bartending. And why is that? Well, I moved to New York City because I knew it's the best of the best, you know? And I was a little intimidated. So I make myself a little smaller. And instead of continue working as a manager, I went back to bartending. But, you know, I like it because I learned way more about the cocktails. Because before it was about making just a few cocktails. But then I learned about the cocktail industry, the craft of the cocktails.
The creation more.
The creations. Yes. And then I memorized all the classics and I ended working in my first restaurants. It was like a Spanish restaurants. And then I started working in hotels. And then I went back to managing. That's when I started working for Chef Enrique Olvera as a beverage manager. And then after that, I was like, I'm tired of managing. It's like a lot of work. I don't get paid.
You don't have a life. Your days are still working.
Yes, seriously. And I went back to bartending. This is when I started also being with some of the best in the world with Dante. But they only give me like a few shifts. So I started working at Dante and then I had to pay rent. So then I started working, very fortunate to work at Seamstress, which in their time, it was one of the best cocktail bars in New York. And then I work in Brooklyn at this place doesn't exist anymore. It used to call Meta, which it was one of the best sustainability system that I ever see before. And then I became brand ambassador. How that happened?
Oh, yeah.
So for me, it was in a way that every time a brand ambassador was coming to the bar, I was like, that's the coolest job ever. Number one, because they are the experts of the category. And number two, because they were educating in a sort of way that they were entertaining.
What year was this?
This year, when I became the first time about brand ambassador, that was like about 8 years ago.
Yeah, I was thinking about 2018, 2019, something like that.
Yes.
Because I remember when you started with them, you were still working with. I mean, I remember we did a couple Panorama events
Ah,
back in the day,
yes,
and then we
yes.
were still at Dante, and then you started working after that with this other brand, the tequila.
And I ask you this because I mentioned it before. When I was working like in a restaurant and I started learning more about the bar and the craft and everything, I remember that the brand ambassadors or even the company brands, they will go to the bar and probably the more that they did, it was like giving you, mats for the bar, openers and things like that. But it wasn't like that involvement. And then like I said, when I came back to the industry and then I learned about you, I was like, wow. And then I saw you working. I was like,
Where you saw me work?
I mean, I don't remember one of the first events, but when I saw you doing an event, I was like, dude, this guy it's a brand ambassador. That's how you represent the brand.
One of the things that I feel very fortunate that I love what I do, seriously. And the reason it didn't start just overnight, even before being a brand ambassador, when I started working, when I moved to the US, I always feel that being an ambassador of Mexico.
Yeah.
Seriously. For me, why? Nostalgia. No, like you're missing everything. You're missing the music, the gastronomy, the art, the people, the sports. And for me, when I have an opportunity, I really wanted to talk about it.
Yeah.
But then I find out something very interesting that I was lacking of some of the key information to share about traditions and the culture. So I really started learning. I was like,
Yes.
okay, I feel like I can express these, by example, I know about what's the Dia de Muertos, but I know exactly the dates or what it means, like every symbol of the altar, or I know about the Rosca de Reyes, but I don't remember exactly what it means, the entire story, or about La Batalla de Puebla, or things like that, no?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I really started learning, and then every day I became the brand ambassador of Mexico, and then when I decided to become a brand ambassador, I was like, the only thing I want to pursue a career as a brand ambassador is tequila.
And so for people who doesn't know, right, like a brand ambassador, how can you describe that position? Because people may believe that, it's just someone that shows the
bottle.
bottle and that's it, right?
Yes.
So how is the transition to be a bartender and brand
For
ambassador?
me, the way that I see it is like, imagine like if you've been a bartender and you have your audience and people that are coming and trying to get a cocktail and you're trying to explain that what is on the cocktail. And sometimes you're explaining like what is behind the bar. The job of a brand ambassador is to educate that specific spirit that you're doing it. Because I know like another brand ambassador, they represent many brands at the same time. Mm-hmm. In my case, it's always been one. But it's doing to another level. Because my previous job, I was the North America brand ambassador. And I worked with Bacardi, representing Tequila Cazadores in North America. And I did it for about 7 years. So for me, it was the opportunity that wherever I go, I am a storyteller.
Yeah.
Why is so important, the storyteller? Because the bartenders, they have the power of make people's change mind. And sometimes the bartenders, they don't realize it, but also the bartenders that are storytellers. So when a consumer or a guest, they go to the bar and a bartender recommends a cocktail or spirit, the consumer or the guest, they more like, they are listening to the bartenders because the bartenders are the experts, of the category. So it is such a powerful moment that the bartenders, they have. That's the superpower. So for me, it is in a moment to give the transparency of the brand, to teach them about the process, and in a way that they feel proud, so much proud of the brand, that by the time they get the opportunity to talk about it with the guests, with the friends and family, they feel like they really are connected to the brand. And on top of that, is working with the brand team, and creating like a programs for the bartenders that they feel connected that we listen to them in a way that they feel like a connection. Like in a way, imagine your boss, it gives you a budget to create an event for the bartenders. So you can have a great ideas and you can execute it, but in reality, do you are really making a connection? Do you really are uplifting the hospitality community? Are you really, in a way, helping the community to become better? So for me, it is something that in a collaborations with the brand team and experientials and agencies is trying to create programs that not only it's about promoting the brand, it's making the industry better. And it's something that as a brand ambassadors, because we mostly of the brand ambassadors are coming from behind the bar, we speak that language. We understand what's happening behind the bar. So because we are being there, we have that kind of empathy. And for me, empathy is being in the shoes of someone else. Yes. And then you can be like, this is where it's missing to elevate the hospitality industry. And I want to do just not as a transaction because the tequila brand or whatever I'm representing is because in reality, we want to create a better hospitality industry, and not only for the today, but for the future as well, Because what are we doing for the future generations? I think it's something that you have a lot of mentors, in your life.
Yeah. And also, I feel like I was telling you earlier, that we have different eras, and like now we're older. And then you see the new generation.
Wiser.
We're wiser, yeah. And probably when we were younger, we were looking at other people like, oh my God, I want to be like them, or I want to learn the same as they do, right? In that case, for example, were you obviously to accept the position as ambassador, but we're humans. Do you feel like nervous, or what was your feelings when you accept to be brand ambassador for the first time?
No, yes, it was. I couldn't believe it because I was knocking a lot of doors. Actually, I really wanted the job.
And this is previous.
Yeah, that was when I was applying for Bacardi. Well, I was applying for a tequila brand in general, and I was knocking a lot of doors. And I was getting interviews, and I was getting very excited, and then nothing happened. So I was becoming, a little like, heads down, a little disappointed. And I was like, what I'm doing wrong. I do remember also I was asking for help. And I think it's something that everybody should do. Asking for help is not a weakness, it's a strength. Getting to someone who is the expert or very well know about whatever you're looking for, ask for help, because people are 90% of the time they're going to be there to help you, because we all been there and someone is been there to help us. So, but if you don't ask, you will never get the help.
That's
people, they're not going to offer you and extend the hand. You need to do the work. Yes.
Yeah, you need to put in the work. Yeah. And I'm really happy that you touched it. I'm going to go back a little bit on what you said on the culture part, because the education that you're doing, not only in North America now, you go to Mexico, you go to different parts, because I think I saw you going to Canada.
Yes.
For a different event.
Yeah, for the 50 best.
Exactly. Yeah. So the fact that you are visiting different states and in, countries at the same time, you are, bringing your knowledge with you, and you touch hearts by saying a little bit of what your story is, a little bit of what the tequila is, a little bit of where you're coming from. And I think people relate with that. And now with social media, people know where Mexico is. And besides the fact that, Mexico City is now number one or within the best bars in the world. And, and that's a really good thing that you are doing, honestly. Sharing the culture all over the world. And what the culture is the roots, is things that we sometimes know, but we don't really remember because, like you mentioned, Dia de Muertos, sometimes we know it's a festivity, but we forget. You get so on into the day to day that you forget because you have to go to work, because you have to do this. And the fact that you remind people, or we have these products, that connects you to your culture, tequila in this case. It could be whiskey, it could be beer or whatever, anything really brings you back to those little memories and to the music, to the Chivas games, perhaps.
And I want to mention this. I know that some people will be like, so who are the owners of Teremana, right? And we can talk about it. But for me, like I said, you are the best representation of a brand ambassador, but also doesn't matter the brand or who's the owner. Like every time I see you, you are like, this is tequila and this is Mexico. And then people will be like, okay, it's Teremana, it's another name, but definitely you are putting the work, the effort to make other people see what Mexico is. And like I said, for example, I remember the party that you did in Tels. Everybody was like crazy to get in because they knew that you were able to like create that community. Not just like, giving alcohol for free or like we're going to go to another party, but everybody was like, we know you're going to bring music, you're going to bring people, you're going to bring the flavor of Mexico. And you always said that this is Mexico. And I'm very proud and honored that you represent
You bring
this.
the vibes.
Yeah.
No, thank you. I do it with seriously from heart. It's something that I get the opportunity to do it. And with the years, I get in the opportunity to really get more comfortable of what I do. And what I mean more comfortable is just in really open my heart and express what I have been here without thinking about others people if I want to kind of breaking any rules or saying something that might not be correct or incorrect. I go by my intuition. And when I started working with, following my heart, it's just beautiful things come up because I truly believe what I do. And by taking the opportunity to right now representing Teremana, it is something that I do believe on the tequila. I do believe on the story. And I feel that I'm championing the brand and I want to lead the brand to get people to get the opportunity to not only to enjoy the tequila, but really value the tequila by what it means and what it's offering to not only the tequila industry, but the planet itself. Mm-hmm. So I feel very fortunate. So whatever the first party that I did with Teremana, it was a Tales of the Cocktails. And I get very fortunate to collaborate and to partner with the global's best bar, which is Handshake.
Yeah.
And
That's
for
amazing.
me, I feel very grateful. Thank you, Rodrigo, Eric, Vampiro y Melissa.
Échale Vampiro.
Sí, sí, sí. Melissa. A él me lo y Melissa, no, but all of them. And for me, Alan in a previous years, I would probably do things in a way that later on I would be like, I wish I would say that, or I wish I would do this, and things like that. Alan, the current Alan, I'm just do it. And I don't want to have regrets. And for me, that's something that I've been, in a way, developing, that developing the way of just doing it because it comes from heart.
Yeah, just making it happen.
Yeah.
I think when you think twice, you overthink it, you sometimes hold back. But when you go ahead and do it, things happen for a reason and things work out, Of course, you're working with the best bar in the world. What's the worst that can happen? Had a great cocktail.
And I do remember one of the best photos. If you go to my social media, you can follow me at Alan Ruesga.
Alan Ruesga.
You're going to be here.
Yeah, venga. I have an iconic photo. And for me, one photo, it can tell you 1,000 words. Okay. And this photo, it's Handshake and myself at the top of the Chandelier Bar at the Four Seasons at Tales of the Cocktails in New Orleans. And we're just raising the glass because we were celebrating the wrapping of the event. And for me, it was such a beautiful celebration that we put some more work into. And it was thanks to Handshake team and Teremana team. And when the moment came, we were just having so much fun. You have an idea. We were just, the joy that we have, we were radiating. So that's why people who were there, they were having so much fun because we were having fun. And I'm telling you this because at the end, they were like, Alan, I can't believe that you were on top of the bar, the chandelier bar. Is like people doesn't do it, and I was like, oh, well, I do it sometimes.
No, and definitely, Alan, I just want to mention also this, that I'm very proud of, like, the three of us were Mexicans, but also we're Latinos, and we are representing so much people. And the other part that we always saying in this podcast now is that thankfully, the society, the industry is changing, and now we have faces like Edgar, like you, representing not just tequila, but in general, right? So we have Mexicans, Dominicans, Colombians, and the other part
Puerto
is
Ricans, don't forget Manuelito.
And, you know, this podcast is for bartenders, brands, ambassadors,
Cocktail lovers.
Hospitality, industry.
And for those watching that are not.
Yeah. But for, like, you are right now a mentor. Like, people look at you. So there is another brand ambassadors that they are also starting. And they probably are also like, okay, I'm doing it, but I'm afraid. And I feel like in this industry now is not a competence. It's more like sharing your trying to represent Teremana. Someone will represent another brand, but that doesn't mean that you're enemies, right? So if you would like to give some advice for the new brand ambassadors.
The first advice is, if you see empty glasses, refill.
Please, no. I was about to say because I was like, I'm licking my own hand at this point. There's nothing. We're gonna take a toast and.
A ver, I already did my first toast.
Hold on.
That's okay. Continue.
Yeah, okay.
What? Okay, now it's you are the host of this beautiful channel. Yes, our podcast. So what should we take a toast for?
Okay.
We should toast. You want to say something?
Can do it.
Well, I want to toast for success, not for everybody, not for all of us, only the three of us sitting here, but for everybody listening to us, and also for all those guys who work back at the house. They never get the recognition they deserve, but the dishwashers, the porters, the overnights, the line cooks, the chefs, the sous chef.
Yes.
My grandma cooking for everybody.
Everybody who works in this industry deserves the same recognition. We're working on that. That now these washers are more. How do you say, like you thank them. Before it was kind of like a ghost that but the
restaurants, the center of the universe from a restaurant, in my point of view, are the dishwasher.
Of course.
If the dishwasher is not there, the restaurant doesn't work.
Yeah. How do you serve food? How do you
have clean glasses or plates?
Clean glasses.
Yeah.
So
Cheers to them. Cheers to everybody.
Salud.
This is heaven.
No, honestly, it's really, really good.
I wanted to, now that we're talking about like the advice about the dishwasher, I developed strength working in the hospitality industry, which for me is the empathy. And I do remember working back in the house, and I get the opportunity to work almost every single position to become a manager. Then I became brand ambassador. So for me, it gave me the strength of empathy, and something I mentioned earlier is being in the shoes of someone else. And some people who they don't have this opportunity, it's very hard to understand what they're going through. And something that I feel so fortunate, and I'm so glad I did it, that I broke some of the rules, is that when I was managing, sometimes when we were closing, I went and I poured some tequila, and it was just me, the manager, Me, the dishwasher, were the last one there. And I put some rancheras in the microwave.
Yeah.
I turned on the lights. I closed the curtains. And I went just to talk to the dishwasher. And I really wanted to connect with them. I really wanted to hear their story. I wanted to know where they're from, where is the family, how many kids they have, what their names, how it got the opportunity to come to the U.S., why they left their country. And I hear such impactful stories that really broke my heart, brought me joy. It makes me feel so many emotions that it really make me understand and appreciate not only the hospitality industry, but then also life itself. Like how fortunate I am. Because some other persons, it get such a hard life. And on top of that, they are rich. But they are rich because they have the joy and they are happy and they're trying to celebrate. And for me, I give them such a huge respect because I learn from them so much. And it's something that I've been applying from, they've been teaching me how to live a better life, to really don't stress for things that it doesn't matter, that they are not, it's worth things is happening in life. So for me, I just feel so fortunate that I took the opportunity to drop everything from Guadalajara. And I'm like, I took an adventure, but this adventure is where it took me to be here in front of you and talk to everyone. But in something that you're talking about earlier, in another point of view where I feel very wise. And it's something that I hope everybody to get the opportunity that if you work in the hospitality industry, please talk to every single person who is behind this hospitality industry, front of the house, back on the house. If you are a leader in the hospitality industry, you need to know their stories, because this is where you really are becoming a leader. If you are not putting yourself on those people's shoes, you are making some decisions that people that are doing it just because they're getting a paycheck, but they are not going to follow you. If you really connecting with them and you really understand them, then it's creating a family. Yes. And when you're creating a family, people will fight for you. Yes. In the good times and in the bad times.
And another thing that you're saying, and you get more respect for what you're doing than what you're going to be demanding. Because if you want to demand respect versus earning the respect by actions, it's two different things. And I'm so happy and glad the way you're saying this, because those people deserve recognition, and sometimes they don't get it.
And also, I feel like some people, they don't even try to remember the names. They're like, and for me, it's like, if you need something, and if they don't speak English, make the effort to either learn it or tell them, this is called glass, right? It's not like that, right? Mm-hmm. And also always say hello.
Yes.
So, and in my experience is that the more I treat them with respect, and, sometimes it's super hot. They don't ask you for anything, but you go and give them water. They're super appreciated just for water, because it's super hot and they're so busy that they don't even have the time to, go to the bathroom sometimes. And the time that you show respect, leadership, and love, sometimes you are a good person, and then you need something, they will give it to you right away. So it's very helpful.
We're having a really good conversation today. I'm loving what you have to say. I'm loving that, that we're talking not only about what the world of cocktailing, but also the tequila and the back of the front of the house. Thank you to all these people. But at the same time, I want to remind people, guys, if you're watching, subtitles are in Spanish, French, Chinese, Portuguese, Dutch, and all the kinds. And that's true.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Slovenian too.
Russian too. But yeah. I mean,
let's continue our
amazing
chat, because we have but we can do a cheers.
Oye, pero le falta el tequila.
Cheers.
aquel, ¿no?
Sí, oye.
Sí.
Like, I don't know, but it's a little bit hot today. The tequila just keeps evaporating. That's
Un
the
poquito más.
Un besito más.
Blink.
Un besito más.
Sí, sí.
Ay, qué rico.
Sí.
Saludcita.
A mí no me gusta.
A mí me encanta. Cheers.
Cheers, cheers, cheers.
Wow.
Cheers for Alan, for Teremana. And obviously, like I said, we're very, very happy. And we're very excited about this brand. If you can tell the audience about Teremana, why did you choose to join them?
Yes, no, thank you. Well, for me, Teremana, it's a brand that it really stole my heart in a way that when I get the opportunity not only to taste it, which for me, Teremana is a tequila that it tastes like tequila. It's some of the tequilas, you mentioned it earlier, or sometimes they are very harsh or they are very sweet. For me, it's a very balanced tequila that it is really inviting you to continue sipping. And then it's also a tequila that you meant to be shared.
Yeah.
This tequila, it comes from the highlands of Jalisco. It's from, depending on the terroir, no? Jalisco produce 80% of the tequila globally, and we have two main regions, which is the highlands of Jalisco, which is a red clay soil, or you have the valley, which is a black volcanic soil. So the agaves on the highlands of Jalisco, they tends to be a little more sweeter. They're trying to be a little more fruity, like something of the notes that you were talking about, like a pineapple
tropical.
and things like that. It's very tropical. And what I love about Teremana, it's our center of the universe or our philosophy. It's about the name itself. Teremana, it means the spirit of the earth. And you split the name in two. Is tere, which in Latin represents terra, and it represents the soil of the highlands of Jalisco. And mana is a Polynesian word that it means the good energy.
Yeah.
Because it could be a good energy or it could be a bad energy. Mana is a good energy, and also it means things to do the right way. That's why Teremana, our production, we do in the proper way. We call it small batch, which it means doing everything small to make sure that we have the high qualities needed. Like, by example, by the way that we cook the agave, it could be many different ways, like a brick oven, autoclave, or diffuser. In our case, we cook in a brick oven, and it could be brick ovens, it could be different sizes. In ours, it's about only, instead of 60 tons, it's only 40 tons.
Oh, wow.
And we cook for 3 days, 72 hours between the cooling and the cooking and the cooling, 72 hours. And for me, I tell people, like, imagine that you are hosting a dinner and you want to create a delicious steak. And it's some people that, because they wanted to do it fast, they cook the steak in the microwave.
Oh.
Ew.
Yeah, right? And what is going to happen, no? It's going to be a burn from the outside, and from the inside it's going to be completely raw. But it's another people who wants to do it the right way.
They take their time to cook.
Exactly. So we cook it in a brick oven, small, and then also it's a low temperature, and we take their time. So by the time that you get this steak or this cooked agave, it's cooked perfectly. It is not burned from the outside. It's not raw from the inside. It's completely well balanced. And some of the things I really do love about Teremana, it is also doing the right things for the soil. And how we do it at Teremana, we have an amazing sustainability in which once that we cook the agave, we do the milling process, which the milling process is when you have the cooked agaves, and then after that, you're trying to extract all the sugars. And imagine like you have a wet towel, and then you start squeezing it, no? So the wet towel is still the same shape after you squeeze everything, and then you get all the juice. In this case, is the aguamiel. And then the other side, you have the towel. The towel, it represents the agave fibers with no sugar that we call it bagazo or bagas. And this bagasse, as a part of sustainability, we send it to a biomass boiler. And this boiler, it creates biofuel.
Oh.
And with this fuel, it gives the steam to go to the brick ovens.
Also, to cook the agave.
Exactly.
Wow.
And not only that, we use the same steam to use it for the distillation. So 100% of our fuel is coming from the agave fiber. So we're not using any oils or wood. And it's an amazing sustainability that I do believe it's about maybe 4 or 5 distilleries in the tequila industry who are using this technology. But some of them, they produce only into 60 to 80% of the steam. We produce 100% of the biofuel,
wow.
which is a huge investment of sustainability because we believe doing the things the right way.
Yeah.
So then after that, we have the fermentation, which we do it for 72 hours. We do our own proprietary yeast. For the people who doesn't know, the yeast is like it's the sugar and producing the oxygen and the alcohol. And this is, for me, is where the maestro destilero is the signature. That's where the kitchen, when the chef puts the sazon, no?
Salt,
yes,
pepper.
yes.
Yeah.
And then after that, we do the distillation. And again, why we call it small batch? Because you can distill in column, you can distill in pot stainless steel, or you can do it in our case in copper pot stills.
Okay.
But then it can be different sizes. Ours is only 3,200 liters, which is very small. Why is this? To make sure that it guarantees that we're doing the proper distillation. To call it tequila, it has to be distilled twice. The first one it calls ordinario, the second it calls tequila. And in the tequila, we go to the copper. We're talking about it. What is the advantage of the copper?
That diffuse the heat
To
evenly.
control the temperature.
Eso, muy bien.
Profesor, sí, pues sí.
And after doing the second distillation, from being from like a 20% alcohol by volume or the ordinario, it can go on to 60 alcohol by volume or even 80.
Yeah.
And then the tequila brands usually, they balance with water to have 40% alcohol by volume. In our case, after the second distillation, it comes to 50 to 55 alcohol by volume.
Also, it's
so when we add the water, it's just a little bit, not that much.
Yeah.
So in that case, water is coming from our own well, but it is not that much water. So why are we doing this? To make sure that we still have the naked expression of the distillation. That's why for me, the tequila blanco or Teremana blanco, I really love it. So all these values of mana, of doing the things the right way, and bringing the people together to respect to the earth and the bringing the community, these values, it was introduced by Dwayne Johnson. So Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, is our founder, and he decided to create tequila, but he wanted to do it the right way. So he built his own distillery.
Oh.
For the people who doesn't know that, it's about 2,200 tequila brands. But it's only about 160 distilleries. So if you make the math, 2,200 divided by 160 is about like 1,350 brands per distillery. In a way, like it makes me think like how you control the quality. It's like I tell people, it's like imagine you have 2 pastry shops, here around the corner. One pastry shop, it has like about 20 different kind of pastries, and they're good. But then it's another pastry shop, and it's dedicated to make only one pastry because they want to make sure that they make the best quality of the pastry.
Yeah.
It is so good that it is like a line to people to get in because they know that no one else can do so perfect that pastry.
And I'm sure they make their own thing, so it's a signature. That's what you get when you go there.
Yes,
So you're not gonna get anything else.
It's about the materia prima. It's about like everything that they use and is the proper way, is the highest quality. They take the time. They don't want to rush anything. So that's why Dwayne Johnson decided to build his own distillery. For the people who knows about the tequila, they call it the Norma Mexicana. The Tequila Regulatory Councils, they oversee the denomination of origin, and the Norma Mexicana, who tells you exactly what is the distillery. In our case, is the Norma Mexicana 1613.
Okay.
And then on top of that, Dwayne Johnson, he wanted to do the things the right way. So he made part owners La Familia Lopez.
Oh, that's
Yes,
so cool.
so the family Lopez is a multi-generational agave farmers and agave producers. And it's thanks to them that we have this delicious tequila.
Wow.
Thank you for that.
So, salud for la familia
Salud por la
Lopez.
familia
Sí.
Lopez.
On top of that, they're the nicest people ever, seriously. Eh? Salud, salud.
Cheers. Saludcita.
And what I love about is at Teremana, we get the opportunity to pick and choose our own agaves. So we get our 100% mature blue Weber agaves, in which some another tequila brands, they don't have the luxury to do it. So when they do the harvesting, they do harvesting. Sometimes they're healthy, sometimes they are not 100% mature. In our case, we have the fortune that we get to choose which of the agaves we harvest. And the jimadores is such a beautiful tradition, no? Like the jimadores is a job. For me, it's like the gatekeepers of the tequila industry.
Yeah.
Because without agave, it's not tequila. And remember, agave, it's a plant, and it takes about 5 to 8 years to mature from the blue Weber agave, because it's another agave species that can take up to 30 years, no? And for me, it is something that I feel very fortunate to represent a tequila that is not such a high-quality tequila, but then also the values. The values about the meaning of the mana, because another people, they can call it different, but in reality, we all are energy.
Yeah.
Yes.
And when we transmit this good energy, people, they can feel it. And this is when we all radiate. And this is why people, they wanted to bring people together. And I don't know if it happens to you, like sometimes you go to a room and you feel the energy.
Yeah, it is.
Or you meet someone and you feel like that person is glowing. That's the energy that we're talking about it. But on top of that is doing the things the right way, and the things that every time that I do any programming or any activation, it's about bringing people together.
Yeah.
How a beautiful thing, no?
Yes, that's
And,
really good.
You know, like now we have Dwayne in this industry, how he feels being part of the industry. Like, and also like, you know, you say Polynesian and going from that area that probably they have their own, you know, food and
There's also agaves in Polynesia. They don't have the denomination of origin.
Yes. So one of the things that is very beautiful, that Dwayne Johnson, he decided to create a tequila because he's always been a tequila fan, but he wanted to leave a legacy to his family. And he knew he has 3 daughters. And he knew that being an actor, it's something that it is not a legacy for them. So he decided to create Teremana, and each bottle of Teremana, it has the initial of his daughters right here, because this Teremana is for the future of their daughters, which for me, he's as a family member. There he goes, right here.
You guys can come watch in
Right
there.
here. And this is something that it's the values of Dwayne Johnson. He's a family person. You know, it's like he's the nicest person ever. Like you know, everything that he does such a the right way.
Yeah.
And that's why it's something that it comes from the, you know, the transparency of the bottle. Everything is right here behind the label. The first time when I see some transparency about the label, for me, it was in the mezcal industry.
Yeah.
And now you see this transparency right here. And it's something that I really do. One of the reasons for me to move from another brand to this brand, it is all these values. It's exceptional tequila. It's making part owners, a family from Mexico. It's doing things, following his philosophy, which is mana, which I never heard about it before. But now that I listen about it, yes, it's Polynesian, but I do really believe that we all have that mana in ourselves. We just sometimes call it different, no?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, as we said, like, tequila or mezcal is a tradition that it's been for centuries in Mexico, and definitely has to be like the energy that every family has to say we're tequileros. Not every person can be a tequilero, right? But the fact that you see that community, that, you know, like, we share energy, we share community, we share love, we share, like, sometimes you suffer for other people to, like, seeing that, oh, this is happening. And I believe that Dwayne, making this family part owners, he feels like it's not just taking, it's also giving back.
Yes, and it's something that if you search a little bit about Dwayne Johnson, he's a person who really do give back to the community. And one of the things that really impressed me the most is that during the pandemic, he was dedicated of giving back to the first responders, and he was, I don't want to say like, you know, the how much money it was, but it was something that I know that's coming from his heart, and he did everything was possible to the first responders, and then also it was for the community. And, you know, it's when you see the opportunity and you really feel like from heart and you see how can you help. And this is something that started since the pandemic, but it continues happening through right now, the moment. And we have a phrase that we call Spanglish, that we call share the mana. Okay. Because it's a domino effect, you know.
It is.
If you have a good energy, you're going to feel the good energy. I'm going to feel the good energy. Yeah. Everybody's going to feel the good energy. It's like when you're on the street and you see someone doing a good act, you feel so inspired of that someone is picking up a trash from the street that is not even theirs. Yes, or helping someone across the street, or a simple smile on the street, on the subway. Yes, then it will inspire you to continue doing it because you feel good, no?
And I think that works a lot, and it makes sense in the hospitality industry because, like I said, like, every time I see you, it's like, oh, Alan is always like
You're
laughing.
so happy. You're always so happy, and that's very contagious.
But then when you do your master classes and other people listen to you,
it's good energy.
It's good energy, and then you share. Like, for me, this is another part of sharing. Like, you come in and sharing your time with us. We're gonna share the information, and people wanna share it as well, and we can pass that to the community. That it matters in terms of, like, today we have Teremana, tomorrow we're going to have a bartender, you know, anything, but at the end we're going to share whatever is happening in New York City and then, you know, pass it around. It's good energy because we're building this community for everyone. And I like I said before, I'm very happy that now we have representation and a very Mexican representation for the Mexican
Viva
spirit.
Mexico, Latin America.
Latin America, that's right.
Because right now we're in Hispanic Heritage Month. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We forgot to mention that. Yeah. And let's cheer to Hispanic.
Otro.
Por el mes de la hispanidad.
I'm gonna call DJ Kel on this one. And another one.
But thank you so much,
thank you so much, Alan, for coming.
We're very, very happy to try it. And definitely we can say thank you to Dwayne because he's giving back to our community.
To the Rock.
To the Rock. Thank you so much. If you watch this, please. We're very happy that you're supporting our Mexican people and showing that sometimes people will say, right, why a non-Mexican is doing a Mexican brand. But as far as he's doing, like you say, the right way and he's supporting these people, is like, we are happy because then you go other parts of the world and this big name is going to put Mexico on the map, right?
Yes, I feel I have so many things to say, but number one is every time that we are representing, and only me, anyone who's talking about tequila, you are representing the Mexican culture. Yeah. And it's something that we all should feel very proud about it because every time you consume a shot of tequila, a cocktail with tequila, a bottle of tequila, you are helping so many communities that you have no idea.
That's right.
And it's something that, think about it, that also it's coming from a plant that started the planting about 5 to 8 years ago. And then the second thing I want to say is, seriously, thank you so much. Yes, I really do believe that what you're doing, the planning, the investing, not only into the equipment, but the time of just inviting the guests, of the editing and putting that, and every day, that it's resilience. And it's something that not that many people can have. And no, this is just a work where you put in a seed into the hospitality industry, and these seeds and many seeds that you're going to put in on, I know that they're going to become in a beautiful flowers, and then they're going to become in a beautiful trees, and they're going to be with a strong roots, and it's something that later on you're going to see it and you're going to feel so proud.
Yes.
Because I know, like, this is just the beginning. And if you're watching this, seriously, like it, share it, subscribe, and make a comment.
Please.
Yeah.
Everything. Yeah.
You can now take my seat and become part of the podcast, please.
No, thank you so much, Alan. Once more, honestly, couldn't be happier than having you here today. And we want to invite the audience to
follow his
follow
advice.
Follow his advice. Follow whatever he's doing on social media. I know he has events coming up. There might be some wrestling going on. I know The Rock's a wrestler, so why not having an event with tequila and wrestling, no punching?
Yes, maybe. No, right now we have something very beautiful that we're going to do it all over the U.S. It calls Share the Mana, Share the Table.
Share the mana, share the table.
And it's about when you bring in a complete strangers into a table, and it's about to bring this good energy.
Wow,
and
that's
it's
amazing.
Something that it's basically the values of mana into an experience. And we just did it in Los Angeles
I
for
saw.
113 people.
I
One
saw that.
table. Why 113 people? But that was the many times that Dwayne Johnson got the opportunity to taste that many tequilas
113.
until find the right recipe. And this is how much Dwayne Johnson is being involved into the brand. And this Share the Man and Share the Table is going to be all over the U.S. and in the future globally. So when you go to your city, I can't wait for you to witness these experiences, because it's something that it becomes very emotional, and then it creates these beautiful memories and friends and maybe future couples.
Yeah.
And you're gonna share and try Teremana. And before we leave, I'm gonna ask you to do something for us and for the audience.
I see, okay.
Me voy a
Yeah.
sacar algo de la manga.
Wow.
Oh, la
Oh,
magia.
secrets. She's got some secrets.
So these are
Secret.
los dados. ¿Cómo se dice dados en inglés?
Dice.
Dice. So you're gonna do this, and whenever it comes, you're gonna give us a recipe for a cocktail.
Okay.
Or an idea. It doesn't have to be a recipe.
Yeah.
Not a quarter to. There you go.
Okay. So gin, bubble, and bitter. So I think this one, it will be French 75 with bitters.
Oh, yeah. That sounds good. Yeah.
With
Why not?
yeah, with a
What would you make with gin, tequila, bitters, and champagne?
I think, actually, I was in Mexico City not too long ago, and I was doing one of my first activations with Teremana, and I created a gin, tequila, bubbles, spritz. And
There you go. That's it.
and it was delicious, and it was tequila, Teremana, it was gin, it was a little Saint Germain, it was thank you, Bacardi, you can take me later, and then it was some sparkling wine, and then it was just a splash of grapefruit soda. So it was in a version of a Paloma with a version of French 75, and it's in a cup, in a wine glass, and it was like with a lot of garnishes, like it was like
a tonic.
A botanic. Yes, it was a grapefruit full moon. How you say, like a
Half moon.
Yeah, half moon.
half moon, and then some other botanicals. Yes. But it was seriously delicious.
We want to
We're
taste
gonna
it.
trace it. But
Thank you so much again. Thank you for
Yeah.
coming up with this great cocktail recipe. Again, great taste it. Thank you, Alan. Sorry to cross my hand. Thank you,
No,
Marie, also
yes.
for being here tonight.
Thank you for watching us. Keep tuned. You know, we have one of the best in the industry, and people knows it. And they're gonna be super thankful because they wanna know more about you. And now we have Teremana. So stay tuned. See you next time, guys.
Boom.
Bye.
Corte y fuera.
Quiero mucho. Bye.
Bye.
Corte y fuera. Yay!
Bravo.